Alrighty, let's start off with the home icon. So let's head over to our code, open up app.js, and we'll make a timeline. So let's start off with the timeline. const.tl equals gsap.timeline. And in here, again, we're going to do curly brackets and set a default to it. So I'm going to set a very small duration because I don't want this to last too long. So I'm going to do a duration of 0.35, okay? And also a nice easing here. So ease, quotation marks, we're going to do power to the ease out. And that's it. That's our little setup. Next up, we're going to select the home. So const home equals document query selector. And we're going to do dot home. Perfect. So now what we need to do is just add an event listener to these. And when we click on it, run the timeline, basically. So what we're going to do is do home.add event listener. And on click, add a comma. We're going to run this function here. Okay. So what we're going to do is say GSAP from to. So the first one I want to do is do a little bounce effect to this. So if we go to the finished one and click on it, whoop, see it kind of becomes smaller and then bigger, like that. So the way we can achieve that is, let me go back here, we'll grab the home SVG, so that's dot home SVG, and a comma to it. We're going to grab the scale, which is 1, and just scale it down to 0.9. So make it very, very subtle. And that's it. And then we'll also change the duration. Let's see how that looks actually. Click. So as you can see, it becomes smaller and that's it. So I want it to go back to its original state. So the way we can do that is adding a yo-yo true and hit save. So if we do that now again, then we also need to specify how many times it should pop back in and pop back out. So I'll add a repeat of once, which is going to come in basically full circle. That's a 360. Click and back out, just like that. There we go. So that looks good. So we have our ease out on it, so there's nothing else that we need to worry about. Perfect. Next up is going to be the feathers. Now the problem is that our feathers are already showing and I want that by default to be invisible or at least scaled down. So what we can do is go up here and use gsap.set. And this is, again, you can imagine that this is a way that GSAP can control. It's kind of like setting it in style.css essentially. But the powerful thing here is that you have access to variables, you have access to calculations and anything else that you might want to interpolate here, which we're going to do actually in a later section. So I'm just going to grab the feather and all I want to do is do a scale. So I'm going to scale it down to 0 like that. So it's completely hidden. So now here, I'm going to add another GSAP and just scale it back up and make it drop on the floor. So from to sounds like a weird song. Dot feather. So let's grab the feather. Now these are both feathers, so they're named with the same class. So what I'm going to do is do y minus 5 and scale 0. So if this is our starting position to y20. So essentially dropping it down a bit. And scale 1.5. So we're going to make it from 0 to 1.5. Let's see if we click on that. So it drops really fast actually. So what I'm going to do is let's actually add a bigger duration here to see what's going on. So I'm going to say 5. So click, and as you can see, the way it scales is actually quite strange. So what I want to do is to keep this centered and drop it down here. So what we need to do is set the transform origin to center here. Transform origin center. So now it's going to scale up from the middle point of that SVG. So like that. So that looks really good. Okay, so we can get rid of the big duration here. So now just get rid of that and hit save. So let's click on that again. And there we go. That's it. Now, I still feel like that's too fast. So I'm going to just update the duration here to about a second or so. So let's do duration 1. Hit save, click on that, and that looks nice and smooth. Perfect. Cool. Another thing I want to do is, remember we have 2 feathers here. So what I want to do is stagger them out a little bit. So I want them to drop at different speeds. So you can do that by adding the stagger and the time for it. So in this case, that's going to be 100 milliseconds of difference. So now if I click boop boop, see how they drop after 100 milliseconds. So if I do 1 second here or 0.5, after 0.5, the other one's going to drop. So I'm going to keep it like 0.2. I feel like that looks quite nice. And now what I want to do is just separate them. So one is going to fall a bit to the left and one's going to fall a bit to the right. So after this GSAP here, go down to another line. I'm going to do a GSAP dot from to. I'm going to select the right feather and do an X0 to X5. All right, so I'm just going to shift it a little bit to the right side and hit save. So there we go. So if we zoom in, as you can see, just kind of shifts a little bit to the right side. And that looks quite cool. I'm actually quite happy with that. If you want to shift the other one, feel free to do so. I actually think that looks a bit nicer. Perfect. So that's it here. Let's see, is there anything else we need to do? I believe that's actually it. That's our little animation. If you want to do, maybe you can do a little something to the roof, make it rotate upwards or something. But I think having it very subtle like this makes it look extra nice. So that's going to be it for the home. Let's head into the bell. It's going to be really, really fun. So see you there.